Blue-black mill in modern. A little bit of a post commentary here. It was by request with some of the stuff that came through. We had already previously recorded this with no audio, so we've gone actually back over top and went ahead and gave some commentary and thoughts and a little bit of analysis as we play the full 5-0 here at normal speed. Remember that if you would like to watch the Blitz League, which is a 20-minute rendition or 30 minutes, depending on how close I can get it, will be linked somewhere here. But remember, they are the same league, so spoilers, whichever one you do watch, I hope you enjoy them all. Please consider liking and subscribing, and let us know which one is your preference. Remember that the Blitz Leagues are not replacing normal leagues, they're just an extra add-on. So if that makes you feel a little more comfortable that, hey, on Thursdays, this is some extra little bit that I get to watch, please let me know that helps. No Twitch interaction, just you guys here and myself here on YouTube. I hope you enjoy them. Blue-black mill right here coming up. Enjoy. All right. Blue-black mill, you got to look at the list here. This is the full edit with a little bit of post-editing here, so no hands on the keyboard. We're going to go ahead and let this just run at a normal pace here and kind of commentate over top. Give some just viewpoints of what we've been playing here, how we approach this one. This is a good one for us to go ahead and try a post editing and maybe see if we would have seen a few extra lines here. So please, if you enjoy this, consider liking and subscribing. Trying to do a little bit of both sides for this first set of Blitz League and feedback from you all. Thank you for the feedback. And if you enjoyed this one as a post edit or would like more during the game, please let me know. So get our opening hand here. End up having to put a few things back as we're getting into the game here while we were letting it run. We have a little bit of removal, a little bit of graveyard interaction, and a visions just a cycle probably if we don't get too quickly. Opponent leads with a Monastery Swift Spear. I want to preserve my life total. It looks like it's probably burn here. We want to go ahead and just Fatal Push this. Pretty simple. I could even maybe Surgical Extraction the Monastery Swift Spear if I'm very concerned here. I don't need to though. Drown the Lock off the top here. So we can definitely counter just another Swift Spear, no problem. Counter burn spell, counter any kind of thing like that. Not too worried here. Second mountain for my opponent gets a Runaway Steamkin, so we got kind of an idea of what they are now. They're more of the prowess version. They're a little bit more of multiple spells. So let's go ahead and Visions of Beyond. See if we can go ahead and get things rolling here. We're definitely going to need to be applying some pressure for sure. Play the Field of the Ruin out. Probably should just have played the Palace in the Clouds, just so I have the blue, the black, and the black for surgical, but that's all right. Crash through for our opponent. Burst Lightning here. We're just going to let things hit us, I believe. Life total is relatively high here. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick off this Drown with the Drown the Lock. It's a 3/3. That's a serious amount of damage there. Go ahead and pull that off. That way they don't randomly also lightning bolt me and just start going off here. All right, we got a crab here. We get to play the crab. We have this land, the Palace in the Clouds, in the sky, or whatever. We end up milling them as well with the Hedron Crab. And I see a Bedlam Revel over here. We're filling their graveyard. I'm a little concerned that the Bedlam Reveler is definitely something that could hurt us. We're going to go ahead and put a draw stop here on the off chance that we hit a Bedlam Reveler in the hand. So Surgical Extraction here. Bedlam Reveler, let's take a look at the hand. Just a Burst Lightning, a couple lands. Going to go grab these Bedlam Revelers. And it's pretty typical red prowess here, we can see. So Burst Lightning, 4 lands, and we have this Bounce land, which is very nice. Interacts with Hedron Crab really well. So I feel like we're in a good spot here. Do need a few more like interactions of either Surgicals, Drown the Locks would be good, or maybe like an Archive Trap if I draw another land here. Bounce Crab. We end up tapping the mana and then playing the Palace. We can call that a little bit of a punt. It could cost us the game. We're in a good spot, but we should have the crab down. That should have been a mill for a little bit more. But no worries. We'll learn from our mistake. We even tapped the mana before playing, and I got a little trigger happy with playing the creature down. My mistake. Burst Lightning for the full amount. Pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce the palace in the sky. You can actually tap the palace in the clouds. I'm gonna say sky and clouds interchangeably. It is palace in the clouds. You can tap it though and bounce it. Anyway, get to play it down. Double Hedron Crab here. It'd be really nice if we could ever get the Field of Ruins off, but they have enough mana to always tap the ruins of their own. So probably not gonna get to do that. We just tap that down. Lava Spike from our opponent. Pretty typical things to be doing here. Plays that ruins down, and case in point, even if I had the Field of Ruin available, they can go ahead and fire this off. We knew they had several mountains here anyway. We're down to 8 here. We're going to go ahead and bounce our palace. We figure out we can do it with the palace at this point. Search. Going to go ahead and take a look. We get a Surgical. Surgical is a bit interesting because we can actually mill them for a couple points here. So we're going to go take a look at the graveyard, and basically at this point I'm just taking a look at what I care about. I don't care about creatures at the moment. I do have 2 blockers. I'm looking at how many lightning bolts they have, how many lava spikes, how many light up the stages. So we're going to go ahead and take this Surgical here. I'm going to go ahead and we can Surgical before milling, or we could Surgical after. Surgical before means that I don't end up hitting those and I can mill a little bit more. So that's kind of why I go ahead and approach it this way. I don't go after Lava Dart because I'm not going to get that. They can go ahead and just cast that by sacrificing a mountain. We hit the Lightning Bolt and it ends up getting rid of 3 plus the 1 in the graveyard. So that's really good. We've got some Lava Darts, Manamorphoses, Lava Spikes, a few other things here. Not too much to worry about. Double mill here. We hit one of the Swift Spears, which is great. We hit a Runaway Steamkin. We hit a Soulscar Mage. So that's great. That's some excellent stuff there. Not bad. All right, 2 mana. Manamorphose. It looked like it might be a Steamkin, but Manamorphose is also a 2 mana spell here. Let's see, what else? No follow-up here for our opponent. We're just going to bounce our land as normal here. That way we get to use our Hedron Crab. Search for Azcanta. So we get a mission briefing. This one's kind of interesting because I've got the Surgicals. I could also leave it up for maybe a Drown in the Lock. That could be something we could do here. The problem with the Drown in the Lock is I don't have the extra blue. So it looks like I'm going to go ahead and keep it for the Surgical. Could also keep it for the Fatal Push. That's not a bad thing either. Going to go ahead and mill them for some more here. We hit 2 more Lava Darts, a Mountain, 2 Soulscar Mages, and a Ruins. So we're looking pretty good here. We're taking a look at what they have left and counting up what we've got available here. I see what appears to be 2 Lava Spikes. I see 2 Burst Lightnings as well. You could argue taking a Burst Lightning might be good, but I don't remember if they have a 4 of Burst Lightning or if it's like a 3 of. So Lava Spike would probably hit more things here. Go ahead and mission briefing, and I think we're going to go ahead and take the Lava Spike, thinking that they have only 1 other Burst Lightning that I have to get through. We see a Hedron Crab and a Polluted Delta here. We decide we can really put both of these up there. We can go ahead and mill over the crab as well if we want to. I'm going to go ahead and Surgical Extraction. I believe I'm going to go ahead and take a Lava Spike. Again, with the idea that they have 3 Burst Lightnings, not 4 Burst Lightnings here. We do hover the Burst Lightning just briefly. Alright, so Lava Spike. We know they can't cast Lava Spike right now anyway. They have 2 mountains. So they have what we see here. We see 1 Burst Lightning, so it was the right call. I'll light up the stage, a couple of those. A couple creatures that I can block, so we're in good shape. It was smart to go ahead and take the Lava Spike here. And we were correct. They only had 1 extra Burst Lightning. Alright, so we're looking pretty good here. We're at 8 life. Not too bad. They've got 11 cards left. We just need 1 more mill spell. Burst Lightning with Kicker. This actually puts us to 4. Plays the land. And we're in a bit of a problem here. And if you figured out what the problem is, high fives to you. So our problem here is they have 3 Lava Darts in the yard. I have not exiled any of them. And we know that they have 4 in the deck. And so as soon as I mill them, we end up running into a problem. We go ahead and mill the crab because it's not needed here anymore. We get the glimpse. We can mill with the crab, with the palace in the clouds, but my opponent can win here. And so I'm trying to figure out what I could do that would allow me to win this game. And the only thing I really can think of at this point is somehow them not top decking exactly lava dart here, and me not putting it in the bin. So we go ahead and play the Palace in the Clouds. This will allow me to search with this Kanta and maybe Fatal Push a creature. We can maybe Surgical Extraction if we end up topping that. We can Visions as well to look for things. So we're kind of like fingers crossed here. We need them to avoid a burn spell at this point. 7 cards to go. Decide not to fire off the Glimpse. Light up the stage. Lets them look too deep here. They hit a Swift Spear and another light up the stage. This is looking really bad for us. They play a land, empty-handed, lava darts us. Lights up the stage for cheaper. Hits a mountain, hits a Manamorphose. We have 3 cards remaining. My opponent probably knows what they are. I do not, though. Manamorphose floats 2 red. 2 cards. So one of these last 2 cards is Lava Dart or what they just drew. They drew a Crash Through, so they either got Lava Dart or something else. And we don't know what the last thing is. It happens to be a Crash Through here. We'll look for something here to prevent this draw, but I don't think I have anything in the deck that could. We end up whiffing with Escanta as well, so we weren't going to hit anything. Last card's a Lava Dart. My opponent fires the Lava Dart off, and they actually have 3 Lava Darts in their deck, or in their graveyard, so they're able to fire all of these off as they want, and they end up taking game number 1. This one was very close. It came down to they had exactly 4 Lava Darts, and we got ourselves accidentally down to 4. If I would have taken the Burst Lightning, maybe I could have milled over the Lava Spikes, but if I hit 2 Lava Spikes there, then we would have died either way. Alright, sideboard. Collective Brutality is good. Kills a creature, removes a burn spell. Crypt Incursion is pretty good. Ensnaring Bridge as well. My opponent tries to attack. We also bring in the Extirpates over the Surgical Extractions. Surgical is a bit interesting. It would hurt us, but it could remove a few things. Because we just came off a game with Lava Dart, this swap feels good to me. We're going to take these and maybe I can get rid of some other pesky things that could happen at instant speed. We can now target a Lightning Bolt pretty freely. We can target Manamorphose pretty freely. We can target Lava Dart a little more. There's a few other considerations here. They're not going to search much, so the Archive Trap isn't as explosive. And I do know I have Bedlam Revelers to deal with, so we go ahead and bring in a Damnation and a Bantus here as well, just as a few extra removal pieces. We have the Drown the Locks, we have the Fatal Pushes, but we have to keep in mind that they have big creatures. Opening hand looks fantastic. We can cycle. We have a Crypt Incursion, which is kind of one of our ways to prevent quite a bit of damage. We have the Prismatic Vista here as well. Things are looking pretty sharp for us. Crash Through for our opponent. Great to see no initial creature here. Happy for that. We go ahead and go get a basic Swamp. Fixes our mana a little bit. Alright, so we top deck a Mesmeric Orb over the Glimpse. I'm going to go ahead and get the Mesmeric Orb because over time it's going to help us. My opponent does have to tap mana to kill us, and so that'll be good for us. We end up milling over our Ruins, and that actually happens to be their 1 land for the turn, so good for us. We got a Glimpse. We have a field. We're just going to go after their graveyard at this point. They have 2 cards that are untapping here. It does feel a potential early Bedlam Reveler, but I'm going to go off of they have 1 land. They don't have many lands in the deck. Maybe we can kind of squeeze out some Bedlam Revelers and maybe get a good Crypt Incursion here as well. All right, so we have an Inquisition. We have a Field of Ruin. We have 1 land over there. We have the Visions of Beyond. We're going to go ahead and Inquisition just to see what's going on 2 here. Got a couple Lava Darts, Lava Spike, Runaway Steamkin, Soul Scar Mage. And the reason I do the Inquisition is I feel like they must have something relatively good on 2 since they played a 1-lander here. So with that knowledge, we go ahead and take that. Our mill rock here, it gets them, but they do get their second land here. They get to cast a Manamorphose. We do see another Bedlam Reveler in the yard, so that's 2 Bedlam Revelers in the yard, which is really good for us. That means they only have 2 more left, and that is probably the scariest thing for us. Double downs on Manamorphose here. We do know they have the Lava Spike and the Soul Scar Mage. I could see both of those being played here. Lava spikes us. And Lava spikes us again. So, we go down to 2 here. They do put enough cards in here for Visions to be pretty good. Go ahead and play that, Ancestral Recall. We have an Extirpate here, Collective Brutality. We're going to mill 2, the Mesmeric Orb. We draw a Palace in the Clouds. So we can play Mesmeric Orb down, and then we can cast Crypt Incursion. There's no reason to wait here. We know about 2 Lava Darts in their hand. We have to do this. I'm not getting the extra benefit of 3 lands here. So go ahead and Crypt Incursion. We'll go back up to 17. A good gain 15 against our burn opponent. Having 2 orbs though now, they're going to mill quite a bit. 2 per. They go over Lava Dart and then light up the stage and a couple cards we don't really care about here. A Ruins for our opponent. Burst Lightning. So that was one of their draws. We know it's Lava Dart, Soul Scar Mage here. This Extirpate would be really good to get off on a Lava Dart. They might give us this opportunity here, and it looks like they will. So there's a Lava Dart. We know about 1 Lava Dart in hand. We have our Collective Brutality. We can actually hit the Ruins if we'd like to make black mana as well. So we untap, we mill some here, as is the way with the orbs. They're going to mill a reasonable amount as well. Prismatic Vista gives us that black without having to turn on their ruins to be an extra, another mana source here. Lead with a Visions. Lets us draw some things here. Alright, so we have a Drown, we have a Hedron Crab, we have the Prismatic Vista, Collective Brutality. I think I want to fire a Collective Brutality off here. Go get a black mana and then extirpate the Lava Darts. We can even take this and gain some life and remove a creature. They could Lava Dart in response, so let's go ahead and extirpate first. Take the Lava Darts. They can't in response. It won't grow their Soul Scar Mages. We know their card is a Lava Dart in hand. And then we can Collective Brutality. We actually didn't search for a swamp, but we're able to still do this off the field as well. Taking a look at what they've got an Abrade. We see Bone Crusher Giants in here, Burst Lightnings, Lava Spikes, Soul Scar Mages, and Runaway Steamkin. So we need to figure out how to close this game out a little bit faster. Hedron Crab here, and we'll pass the turn. We figure a blocker is reasonable here. They're going to mill quite a few things here. We don't need to fire off the Collective Brutality. It'd be better just to have a blocker in case they get like Manamorphose plus maybe a burn spell here. Land drop for our opponent. It's really nice that they play that into play as well. It means that I can easily block with Hedron Crab. We mill out a few cards here, and now we're in a great spot. I don't see any reason we should be losing this. We can field them. We can Collective Brutality a couple modes here as well. We probably don't need the Damnation, I think is what I pitch here. Pitching the field is probably fine as well. But I think I get rid of I get rid of the Damnation. We can play the land down. We can mill them. We have the Drown the Lock as protection here. I can balance the Palace. They have to tap out to kill us. We're in a much better spot than we were game 1 against our opponent here. Extra lands. We can't really go after the ruins anymore, but I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to bounce our Palace here. Bounce our Palace for Hedron Crab. My opponent has no lands. We're going to be at 10 figuratively because they can crack the ruins. So we have 10 cards to get through with a bouncing Palace. Crab. We get to play Crab, mill them for a bunch, bounce, mill them for a bunch. Should be a victory there. So our opponent scoops it up. All right, so we look at Fraying Sanity. They do put a lot of cards into their graveyard, but they're not from the library. We have the Ashiok, which could keep a Bedlam Reveler kind of in check. It would stop our extirpates, but maybe we can also get a few Lava Darts and they won't want to use those immediately. So we've pulled Ashiok off to the side. I'm thinking about this Fraying Sanity. And I'm thinking about the Fraying Sanity maybe as a one-of over the Ashiok, because the Ashiok and Extirpate don't play well. And the Fraying Sanity, if I'm able to Fraying Sanity and then Glimpse, we're going to race our opponent. And so we'll give that a shot. What are you going to do? Hand looks great. We have a Drown in the Lock. We have Collective Brutality as removal and gain life. We have the Bridge, which is good. May not even need it. And we have a Glimpse to fuel the graveyard for a Crypt. Realistically, we just need a land. This hand looks good. Swift Spear for our opponent. 2 cards out, 4 remaining, so they did mull down to 6 here on the play. Exactly where they want to be. Top decking a Fatal Push. What more could you ask for? It's a great top deck. I can easily remove the Swift Spear. We're deciding between playing the Darkslick Shores to preserve a little bit more life versus the Polluted Delta here. Swift Spear, number 2. Easy removal. And now the Drown the Lock is removal as well if we feel we need to remove versus glimpsing. Opponent's kept another 1-lander here. And I don't know if this is very typical for Prowess. I know a Chalice on 1 is very good against them. And I know they can function on 1. This is probably a very easy Collective Brutality. It may even be a 2-mode Collective Brutality and ditching the Bridge, because we have the Drown the Lock. It could be also just ditching the Drown the Lock here with the idea that we can hide behind a Bridge. But it's pretty easy 2-mode removal and take a instant. We don't need to gain life. We're at 17 and I can fetch a basic with Polluted Delta. So no need to like cash in Collective Brutality for full value. Drown the Lock seems like a fine one, especially since we have this Bridge. Getting empty-handed is not unrealistic with what we've got going on. Double Lava Spike and a Runaway Steamkin, plus a Light Up the Stage. It's going to be an easy Light Up the Stage here. We don't want them digging. We don't want them to find that extra land if we don't have to worry about that. It puts just a decent card into the bin. Runaway Steamkin here, so Lava Spikes plus Runaway Steamkin is going to be a little bit of a problem. To prevent this from really hurting us too much, we can probably Ensnaring Bridge here. We could also Mesmeric Orb. We might Bridge just to be mana efficient here in the event that I draw an extra land. Then I could Glimpse and Orb. So we're going to go ahead and fetch. Doesn't really matter what basic I get. We'll play Bridge here, mana efficiency. The other thing is if they get a third thing like a Manamorphose, they play Manamorphose, Lava Spike, Runaway Steamkin hits for a ton. It's already going to hit for basically another bolt here. Not much I can do about that this turn, but this will hopefully set us up. They'll tap out. Maybe I can Orb plus Glimpse and then maybe Crypt Incursion. We're kind of going to live on the edge here with our life total. So we go ahead and Inquisition here, and we're going to play either Glimpse or Mesmeric Orb. This will get us underneath the Steamkin. That being said, my opponent has a Lava Dart, which is really nifty for them. So they can actually boost Steamkin up even if they draw a land here. And if they boost Steamkin up, then they can subtract from Steamkin and continue to get us. And being at 6 versus 7 is it's a big deal. Big deal. So there's a Crash Through. Puts the Steamkin up so that they can remove 3 counters here. They drew a random card. So we're on the edge here. They can go down to 1. They could even probably play one more spell if they had it in hand. It looks like they don't, though. Okay. Opponent attacks. Follows this up with a Burst Lightning from hand. Okay. 2 damage to us, 2 to Runaway. Lava Dart puts us to 4 and makes Steamkin a 3/3. So we'll go to 1. All right. So, Orb triggers here. We're at 1. We'll put Palace into play. And I need a Crypt Incursion here. What we can do is actually they have no cards in hand, and there is no lava dart. We could wait. Now, if they mill over a lava dart, we lose. This would be problematic. So we can go ahead and try this. We're only getting, let's see here, there's only 3 creatures. So we'll go ahead and risk this. End up hitting 2 Bedlam Revelers, which is extremely good. We got lucky that they didn't find a lava dart there, but the extra creatures is probably a big deal here. Because even if we were to only gain from the other couple creatures, we wouldn't have gained 15. We would have gained, what is it? We had 5, 4, 3. We would have gained 9. So if we would have gained 9 instead, and we would have just taken 3, we'd have 6 plus 1, so we'd be at 7 life. We'll kind of see how that plays out. Mesmeric Orb, we can go after the Glimpse here, and we can get empty-handed here, knowing we would be at roughly 7 life if we would have gone the other route. They mill over a few things here. I see an Abrade, Lightning Bolts that I'm glad they milled over. I'd almost prefer them to mill over the Lava Dart now. So they cast the Lava Dart, floating a mana, and light up the stage here that they had in their bin. I didn't see the Lava Dart, but I guess they went ahead over that. They end up missing a land drop here, and it's a 3/3. So keeping in mind that we would be at about 6 life, so two bolts would kill us. Find an extirpate here. So one of the ways they could kill us is 2 lands and a Braid, which is my worry here. They could also kill us with just bolts and stuff, but I have a good feeling that they probably have 2 more Braids or so. They have 1. We have 2 Bone Crushers, Burst Lightning, Lava Dart to worry about, and Ramunot Ruins. That is all that's left. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 12 left that they could hit us with, it looks like. We need them to basically avoid their lands if possible. We're in a good spot though. And our opponent gives it up here. We get the match. Match 1 down against Blue Black Mill. Getting the W. Nice. Pretty good. Not bad at all. Alright, let's load up league or match number 2 here. Playing Blue Black Mill in Modern. All right. Let's see if we can find another opponent here. I saw a few lines there that I could have done a little bit better now that we're rewatching. I don't always get the luxury of rewatching the matches. We play a lot, try to get content out. We answer all of your questions. I'm gonna hit the fan here while we're looking for our next opponent. And we find them. We find our next opponent. All right. Came back from 1 life. Crazy. All right. Archive Trap, Double Mission Briefing, Surgical Hand. Seems okay. I mean, if our opponent does fetch, we'll be in great shape. If they're a creature deck, we'll probably be going to game number 2. Opponent's Galaxy District here. Galaxy District. Great starting card. Flooded Strand here. Archive Trap online. What do you got for us, opponent? Inquisition. All right, I want to use the Surgical. Let's go ahead and Archive Trap them and use the Surgical. Our opponent is Blue-Black Whir, it looks like. So we have Whirs, Cryptics, Archmage Charm, some Astrolabes, a couple Inquisitions. Probably the worrisome here is either Cryptic or Archmage Charm. We'll go ahead and take the Archmage Charm. We're not going to be casting probably anything soon. Take those. We've got this Fatal Push and Polluted Deltas and Snow-Covered Islands. Looking at their list here, I see Emry and Urza. We go ahead and take a quick screenshot of the hand there because Surgical doesn't keep it, so we put it off to the side here. I see Urza, though. Urza is about the only thing left that I'm too worried about. Emry could kill us as well, but it would take quite a bit of time. Not bad for a turn 0 here, since we were on the draw. Not bad. All right. Palace in the Clouds. Go ahead. Field of Ruin's not a bad one here. It fixes us enough for mission briefing to recast the Surgical. Polluted Delta for our opponent. I wouldn't expect too much else here. So our life total doesn't matter too much here. We can go ahead and shock in the Watery Grave. They don't know about the Field of Ruin. And we could also flash back this mission briefing on the Surgical at any point if we feel like we need to. Maybe they'll fetch or something like that, and I can grab the Whir, or I could grab the Cryptic Command or something like that. Okay. Island for our opponent. We've seen the Polluted Delta. We've seen the Island. We're expecting another Polluted Delta from our opponent. Top deck of Mesmeric Orb. No reason not to play this, I think. If they happen to have gotten a counterspell, great for them. Pushes our game plan. They know about 2 of our cards. They don't know about our Field of Ruin. Polluted Delta cracked here. Could be an Arc, or not an Archmage Charm. We took that. Could be, I don't know. Nothing. Sunken Hollow. Sunken Hollow, they mill 1. They mill over an Emry, which is a great juicy target for us. Emry and Urza are the only cards we care about. Mystic Sanctuary, put in a... What are they going to put on top? Let's say Whir of Invention. So we could mission briefing Surgical away Whirs. I could also just Field of Ruin here to cycle that away. A Urza here and a dude. All right, so we got a little bit of something on the battlefield. We're going to mill 2 for us. We mill an Inquisition and a Fatal Push. We hit a Glimpse. So Glimpse would mill it away. We could then mission briefing Surgical. I could just Field of Ruin here as well to mill it away. Then I can go after maybe more the Emry. So we're going to go ahead and do that line here. We can get rid of a Mystic Sanctuary so they don't pick that up with a Cryptic in the future here. We'll go ahead and get enough for mission briefing. We'll cash, surveil. Extra Surgical is interesting, but probably not necessary here. Hedron Crab is a clock for us, so we can keep that. We'll grab... Oh, we decide Archive Trap over Surgical. We decide, because we see the Hedron Crab, we can actually probably mill them out faster now. That's probably a good idea. Milling them out faster versus attempting to just take like the Emry out there. So we're on the game plan. We've got the Glimpse in here. We've got the Palace as well. We have them tapping out, untapping and tapping with Mesmeric Orb. So that's a good spot for us. They don't have too many artifacts. The construct's not very large. They're not going to probably spin the wheel with Urza too much, but they could. They could. I doubt it. They probably don't have too many things they want to be hitting here. 2 mana here for our opponent. Engineered Explosives on 2, so they can get rid of our orb fairly easily. They play a Polluted Delta as well. I believe we knew about that Polluted Delta. So we have 1 card left. Mystic Sanctuary here puts a... This gives us kind of an insight into what they might have here. Also noting that we put the Hedron Crab on top, but the Mesmeric Orb is going to mill it away anyway. All right, they put a Whir on top. Not a bad one. They can go select something from their remaining deck here. Little do they know we're going to go ahead and take care of that. Hits for 4, puts us to 12. This makes it a 4-turn clock, so we've got to close this out quickly. We mill over our Crab plus 3 other cards here. There goes Crab. Bye, Crab. Crab, Field, Inquisition, some other card off stream. Shelldock Isle. So we can glimpse them here and then Shelldock and hope to hit 1 last card that could be game ending here. So Shelldock Isle. Get. We don't hit a whole lot. We can probably just take the orb here. Searcher's Content doesn't finish it. Polluted Delta doesn't. Visions could hit something, but it's not guaranteed. If I hit something like Crypt Incursion, it's just not going to gain a whole lot. If I hit Fatal Pushes or something, I mean, it could stop the construct. We'll take our orb because they're about to blow that up with engineered explosives anyway. We'll mill them for a good 10, put them to 6. They're going to draw a card, and they're going to get rid of this engineered explosives. The engineered explosives being destroyed as well shortens the clock, or lengthens the clock. It goes from a 3-turn clock to a 4-turn clock easily with a artifact off the top. Decides to spin the wheel with Urza here. Finds a Thopter Foundry, which is pretty good actually for them. They don't have any other artifacts though. They blew them up with engineered explosives. It's a shame. They get to hit us for 3, takes us to 9. We have this Mesmeric Orb though, and they'll be tapped out, which will be lethal. And I don't believe they have main deck something at 1 mana, 2 mana that could stop the orb from being put into play. Reminding ourselves that I believe the Thopter is worth mana here because of Urza. I'd like to gladly take some sort of other spell here. We end up not hitting one, but we can go ahead and play this orb into play. And that should be game. Should be game. I would think so. Yes? Yes, opponent? Nod your head. What do you got? Luckily for us, they can't make infinite life, but at this point, it really wouldn't matter. Everything would then be tapped down quite a bit. One nice thing about playing orb, or sorry, not orb, mill, is we don't have to worry about infinite life. Play our land for good measure, pass the turn. This should be it. Tries to use Thopter. Doesn't want to blow up their own Thopter, I presume. Orb goes off here. They mill out 4 cards. Technically 7, and we're good to go. Cool. All right. Blue-black, Urza Wurza here in Modern is our opponent. We want to go after their graveyard. They help us out there. They do attack us. They do search as well. So we have extirpates, surgical extractions, Ashioks. Bridges aren't too bad either. They don't have too many creatures. Crypt can come out. Search is a little bit slow. Mission Briefing's a bit slow as well. Fatal Push doesn't hit too many things either. We're looking to kind of just play Lockout. Extirpate plus Surgical plus Ashiok should prevent them from really doing searching with Whir. Should prevent the graveyard from filling for Emery. Should be able to take the couple threats out. This hand looks pretty good. It's 1 lander. We'll go ahead and keep it. Archive Trap's pretty online. They have quite a few fetch lands. Opponent starts with what? An Astrolabe? Astrolabe it is. Draws a card. Fueling that Emery, I'm sure. Alright, we'll just play Hedron Crab here. The Field of Ruins not going to be online for just a little bit longer, but I'm sure we'll get it going shortly here. It'd be great to get a black source, glimpse them, and then Surgical or Extirpate before we get to use this Ashiok. Also, a fetch land from them would be fantastic, but they may try to avoid those. Astrolabe for our opponent, drawing another card. Polluted Delta, please. Oh, yes. Yes, it's probably Emery. That seems pretty logical here. Archive Trap and the Emery would be pretty sweet. Nothing. Oh, okay, Emery. I was thinking they had a counterspell. Okay, so Emery's played. Easy Archive Trap, maybe a Surgical as well. The Whir looks great. Maybe they have a Force of Negation or something like that, but it's on their turn. We get pretty much everything in the graveyard here. We end up top decking another Surgical. We can use Hedron Crab to mill out a little bit more here. What else do we hit here? All right, we hit an Urza. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I see an Emery, but I don't care about Emery. That doesn't ever get through my Crab. We have an Archmage Charm, a Cryptic Command, and a Mystical Dispute, plus an Engineered Explosives in the hand. Deck-wise, I see Whir, I see Thopter here. That's about all I see that I care about. Probably take the Thopter. I don't care if they counter anything. If they can't kill us, they can't kill us. We'll grab this Thopter, noting that they have those counter spells. They have a Sword of the Meek that they can put on Emery. And apparently that's it, because they took out Urza. Cool. I won't say it now, but I think we won already. I think they don't have anything that could really beat us down fast enough. Eventually I'll find something that removes the Emery. Then our opponent gives up here. Yeah, I think they want to keep those Urzas in against Blue-Black Mill. I know that you kind of like spin the wheel. You spin the wheel and you get something else, but why would you leave yourself up to just a combo? I don't know. And I'm in black. I don't have Leyline of the Void here, but I mean, it's got to be a pretty obvious potential. I don't know. Maybe they're thinking you only keep the combo in, the Thopter Foundry, but why get rid of Urza there? Urza is going to make a big giant construct. Bounce my bridge and smack me around. I don't know. Interesting choices for sideboard for our opponent. We take down blue-black. Where's a Urza there? In Modern. Going to go ahead and find our third opponent here. And we'll see how this third match goes. Here we go. As a quick reminder, because this is taking some extra viewing, hopefully the recording comes out well. If it is something you do like, comments are appreciated, likes are appreciated, subscriptions are appreciated as well. They're all free on YouTube and they just take a moment to click. Consider it. All right, Brett99, actually a viewer of the stream. Hello, Brett. You get a double hello this week. So they go ahead and chat to us just a little bit. As always, it's great to see a fan. If you ever do see us, please don't snipe us. But also, say hi. I usually have chat reasonably open. If I don't respond, it's probably because I've been zoning out for a little bit, playing or practicing. So don't take it the wrong way. Anyway, we got a double archive trap here. We have a swamp, we have a surgical, we have the fatal push, we have a crab. I just need blue mana here. If they do end up searching, we're great. Blast their deck away and get to surgical here. Knowing that my opponent is a viewer can kind of play in a counter way of they think I'm on a red deck, so probably don't expect these sweet blue-black cards here. I'm feeling pretty confident. We got the sneak attack kind of approach here. So we'll see how this goes. Having a little bit of chat with our opponent, and here we go. Leading with the swamp, and my opponent's like, no red prison. Maybe they just expect whatever from us. Copperline Gorge here. And a Shriekhorn. All right, so we have a surgical. This is good. They're a little less likely to be searching, so the archive traps are probably not going to come online. We kept a one-lander. We end up fading ourselves into this one-lander. Shriekhorn here. Blood Crypt. We don't have an upkeep stop or a draw stop, so let's go ahead and put that. Be careful of your stops when you're playing online. I see a Stinkweed here. We're in the upkeep stop. I don't need to burn any life total here. We'll go and grab this. We'll make sure that they're not doing anything nasty here on the turn 1-2-ish of the game here. So we get this. We get a peek at the hand. We have an Ox. We have a Bloodghast. 2 fetch lands. 2 fetch lands are over there. We take a look at the list just to see if there's anything nuanced here. We do grab a screenshot of the hand. Surgical does not leave it revealed for us, so that way I can keep track of what's going on with our opponent. All right, so we got rid of Stinkweed. That's a good dredger to get rid of. They play the Bloodspine Mire. That's really good for us. We have the Archive Trap. We miss on our land here. I don't think I want to use this Inquisition. I think we're just going to pass here. It's not ideal. Not ideal. Opponent searches. So we have the opportunity to do this now, the Archive Trap. Or we could just let the Shriekhorn go. Part of me just wants to let this go for now and not like fuel them, because I don't have anything else and I'm already behind on my lands. So I don't have the follow up the Glimpse. I don't have the Crab in play. I'm not searching with Search for Azcanta through the top of the library. I don't have the Fatal Push. So let's not fuel them. Let's see what the Shriekhorn hits. Hits a Shriekhorn and a Bloodghast. So that's pretty good for us. They have the ability to play out the Bloodghast by playing a land. They did not fetch black mana, so they don't have double black for their Bloodghast that's sitting in hand right now. So that's good for us. They're at the mercy of the top of their library. Haggle's not bad. So they get to discard something, probably that Bloodghast. And they do. And they draw a card. So we have the land drop here. We have double Bloodghast coming down. There's the Blood Crypt. Brings it into play. Shocks it into. Life total doesn't truly matter for our opponent either. Red-black here. Cathartic Reunion. Okay. Gets their Ox and a Prized Amalgam that was in hand to the bin. We get to Fatal Push one of these, and we're just going to move on to our turn. Please land. We need something here. End up hitting our land. That's good. So we can search for Azcanta. We're not trying to play into any of this mill. They haven't hit a Dredger. We have a lot of mill potentially saved up here, but we do need them to search again. We do know they have one more fetch land. They have not used, I believe it was the Wooded Foothills, because I see just the Bloodstained Mires in the bin. So we know they could potentially fetch in the future. We almost need them to in order to have a shot here. I could find a Crypt Incursion as well here in a land, and by buying myself enough time, maybe this Bloodghast really doesn't do me enough damage here. So reasons for not playing Crab, reasons for not going full on our mill plan here as well. And if they get a little Dredge happy, maybe it's just one glimpse away from a win. That's a possibility. Dredge has to balance everything, right? All right, cast another Haggle. Here we're going to take a close look. They ditch a Bloodghast and a Creeping Chill. So we're getting really lucky that they're not hitting any Dredge effects. There's that Wooded Foothills. Okay. Bloodghast is coming back. Prized Amalgam is going to be coming back. Follows this up with a... Ox. Ox from the bin. They had enough cards to go ahead and fire this Ox off. We have a Life from the Loam and Cathartic. They dredge Life, they dredge Golgari, they dredge Golgari. They hit triple Narcomoeba and a Creeping Chill. This puts them to 24 cards. We're pretty close to out of this. We're at 18 life here. They've got... Let's see here. This will take me to 15. Then they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They have 15 with the Prized Amalgam, plus this Bloodghast is coming in. We'll be at 13. We're dead on the next crack back here. Our opponent's pretty much got this one. No problems for them. Prized Amalgam coming back here. Search for Azcanta. Let's find a land. I probably want to take the land, but I'm not sure. I'm dead on board. I almost need another removal spell, so let's go ahead and ditch the land here. Maybe I can get a Drown the Lock or something. Inquisition. Not ideal. So I guess I go ahead and glimpse them and just hope that they decide the Wooded Foothills is necessary here. I could also Hedron Crab as a blocker. Hedron Crab blocking the Ox wouldn't be a bad idea either. If they do search, I'm good. We can Inquisition here to just take a look at what they have in Crab as a blocker. Maybe give me one more turn here. Find something ridiculous. Thug, and Life from the Loam. So maybe I can go ahead and just put one of these nice cards into their bin for them. We'll do the Life from the Loam. It's less likely to hit a Creeping Chill. Crab as a blocker, pass the turn. Maybe I can top deck a Miracle off the top here. I'll have the Crab in the bin here. I don't think Search flips. Ooh. That is very unnecessary. Fetch from our opponent. Sacred Foundry here. We'll double Archive Trap them. We'll take this game away from our opponent. Sorry, Brett. Double Creeping Chill off the Archive Trap. We don't worry about this too much because we will completely negate everything they have. I suppose I never played it at the beginning, and so I can't imagine they would expect us to just blast them here for a good 26. But there you go. Got it. Stole it. I think that was stolen. Might have stolen that one away. Not bad. Sweet. Okay. Graveyard Hate. All of it in. Crypt Incursions. Ashioks. Everything. Could even probably play Fraying Sanity here. Probably. I don't think I need to. Fatal pushes out because it only is single targeted. They bring a lot of their stuff back. Mission Breaching, Search for Skanta. Those are too slow. This would be probably the matchup to bring in Fraying Sanity. I think our Archive Trap played really well there, though. And maybe I'm just kind of greedy. The other thing is the Inquisitions of Kozilek are probably not very good here. So those are probably a few things I should be bringing in. So Fray Insanity, maybe Damnation, maybe Bantus, maybe Ensnaring Bridge. But we did a decent thing last time, so let's keep it going. They might be bringing in Nature's Claims as well. So the Fray Insanity just plays into that. Maybe we can play a straightforward game here with our opponent and make a few minor mistakes on our sideboarding there. Shriekhorn for them. That plus the land plus the Shriekhorn, they did mulligan down. We top deck an Ashiok. This is great news for us. We have the Surgical Extraction here, and we have a Visions of Beyond to refuel us here. There is the Nature's Claim that we were talking about. So they get a Thug here, and we actually don't have our upkeep stop anymore. So I miss out on Surgical, and I go ahead and replace my upkeep stop. So they have a Golgari Thug. Perhaps not the worst. All right, so we draw an Extirpate now. Now we have Surgical and Extirpate and a follow-up Ashiok. I'm okay, kind of, with that Golgari Thug just being in hand at this point. So, cool. There's an Archamoeba. That might be actually worth it to just Surgical away. It's kind of an annoying creature, and our Ashiok's going to be online here shortly. So let's go ahead and take that. Leave the Extirpate. Leave the Visions of Beyond here. Get to take a look at what they've got. We have Bloodghast, we have Cathartic Reunion, we have Nature's Claim, and the Thug. Noting they have the Nature's Claim that we kind of talked about. So our Leyline of the Void we might have had, Fraying Sanity, all of that would have just been like blown away. Deck is typical Dredge. Didn't see anything in adjustments there. Not bad, not bad. Okay. So opponent's going to follow this up with a Cathartic Reunion. I can nail the Golgari Thug if I'd like to here. I could also nail the Bloodghast. Almost none of that really matters, but I don't think I want to help them with their graveyard here just this one time because I have the Ashiok coming down. Ashiok and Visions are obviously going to non-bow a little bit here. But what are you going to do? I see Stinkweeds in there. Pretty typical, as mentioned. They're going to just draw two naturally here. And if we get the Ashiok down, we have this Bloodghast we've got to deal with. We'll probably be in great shape. I have a feeling I'm just going to fire off the Visions at some point. I was thinking about firing it off there, but we'll just jam Ashiok. We'll clear the graveyard here. It mills them for an additional 4 as well. They'll probably have to fire the Bloodghast at us, and we can then Glimpse plus Ashiok and really take care of a lot more of their graveyard here. Nature's Claims their Shriekhorn just to put a few things into the bin and gain some life. I think my opponent's given up on their Nature's Claim. Bloodghast coming at Ashiok here. Follows this up with a Cathartic Reunion, Life from the Loam, into a Conflagate in the yard. It's pretty good. I believe they already... No, they did not. So they play their land here. They don't want to go the Conflagate to kill the Ashiok here. We end up top decking an Archive Trap. This is really pretty nasty. We can lead with a Field of Ruin here. Going after the Stomping Grounds. Glimpse them, Archive Trap them, and Ashiok them. And that should be game. I believe that is exactly 27. 10, 13, so 23 plus 4. That's 27. I think we've got this. So we'll force the We'll force this. We're double checking. We were counting up and we're trying to remember, do I have 3 islands or not? I believe I have 3 islands, if I recall. So we'll tap down our swamp. We don't need to do double swamp. We'll go ahead and get rid of the other dredging land here as well. That way I can just get rid of that on some off chance they're able to do something else. We had a little bit of each, so 3 and 3. Good to know for future. Gonna go ahead and glimpse them. We force the search. We get to archive trap them, and then we get to Ashiok them. Pretty brutal, pretty nasty. Don't care if they had any creeping chills here. Does not matter. We get the game here. And just like that. I don't know if Dredge is an easy matchup. I think there's a nuance to it where theoretically you could help them out quite a bit. We end up hitting another creeping chill, but alas, it's been sent to the exile. We get the GGs from Brett K. We get this game against Dredge here. Not bad. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Not bad. 3-0 currently in matches. 3-0. Not bad. Taking down Dredge. Took down Prowess, took down the blue-black. Where's Urza? 2 matches ago. Let's play another match. Let's find our opponent here in Modern playing blue-black Mill. As a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this content and this post-recorded stream, definitely don't forget those subscribes, likes, hashtags, comments, shares, tweets, Facebook posts, Twitter posts. I said tweets. Instagram, Snapchats. Emails, text messages, however you want to get the word out about blue-black Mill here in Modern, doing some things. Tell your friends at your FNM. Yeah. Let's find our 4th opponent and let me stop rambling on here about the match. One thing I'm hoping, every now and then with our stream, we've had a little bit of an issue with sound. We are now about an hour into recording. Fingers crossed that it's not all staticky. If it is, I might cry. 4th opponent found. Let's play some Magic. Rend GT. We have a hand that seems reasonable. We've got that archive trap. We got a removal. We have the Mill Orb. And we have a Drown in the Lock. No reasons not to keep this. Shelldock's just a touch slow, but hey, you know, it is what it is. We don't have too much that's at 3 here, so I'll probably play the Shelldock near the 3rd. We're going to be playing Mesmeric Orb probably first, and then maybe the Drown in the Lock to maybe remove or counter something. Maybe I'll get lucky and get the Fatal Push here or something on turn number 1 as well. Upkeep stop from our Dredge opponent. We can get rid of that. Bobble. Okay, maybe Death Shadow here. Could be Death Shadow, although it's starting to look a little bit like Emery. Breeding Pool. It's Emery. We happen to have the Prismatic Vista to go along with the Fatal Push to remove it. We do get to also use our Archive Trap immediately, and my opponent's down to 2 cards. Looking pretty nice. Now, we see an Euro, Galvanic Blast, which I don't think I've personally seen. Gilded Gooses, Urzas, Snowlands, all the rage. Prismatic Vista here, go get a Swamp, Fatal Push off Emery. Opponent's got 2 cards. Do they want to pop this bobble or not? That's up to them. We're looking really good here. Whatever they play next, we can play the Orb down, and then we'll have their 3rd land coming up, and then we can Drown in the Lock, probably the Euro, without a problem. So we're great for a turn 4 Euro here on the curve of what it appears to be here. Tap land here, Mystic Sanctuary, green mana, Gilded Goose. Okay. So they could play Euro next turn here. They would need exactly a land. I wonder if that's worth waiting here. They're going to get 2 draws at it. 2 draws, they're at 35. I think no. The reason I think no, 1, we draw a Crypt Incursion. 2, the reason I think it's a no is because I could easily just kill it. That being said, I guess I've decided that I don't need to play the Orb just now, so we'll leave up Drown the Lock as a counter spell. I suppose if they miss the land, I can just kill the goose here. It's not a bad thing, I suppose. Maybe I've been persuaded elseways because of the crypt incursion. Surgical off the top. So now we could just surgical Euro, take a check at the hand, and then Mesmeric Orb. We'll put an Archive Trap in here for the Shelldock Isle. That should be able to finish our opponent off once we get to that point where we're casting that. Let's cast a Surgical here on Euro. Take a peek at the hand. We use our life total. Our life total is not in danger right now. And, uh-oh. Counter. Metallic Rebuke. Alright, so I can actually go ahead and counter this. Or Drown the Lock being played a little bit slower is benefiting us. We'll surgical away the Euro because that is definitely something that can kill us. And they had a Euro in hand, plus an Archmage Charm. Alright, so we get to take both of these and the Euros. Emery and Urza are left, and we have an Archmage Charm to get around at some point. So looking fairly good here. No need to worry about Euro here. They don't have enough for a Urza. If they were to top deck it, they only have 3 mana available to them with a Gilded Goose. We're in a great shape here. Alright, so an Archmage Charm to beat. Unknown card was the draw. We'll eventually have to get through it, so we're probably just going to slam a Mesmeric Orb. Top decking an untapped land's really nice. We get the Mesmeric Orb. Opponent's going to counter this. We'll Mesmeric Orb again. They'll be pretty tapped out here, and we'll be in great shape. I would assume they would counter this. If they don't, we get an Orb down, and I just try to play the other one. Triple blue here made. Archmage Charm. They don't get to draw with this. This is good for us. Mesmeric Orb. And pass the turn. Mill 3 cards, please. Down to 28, plus the draw 27. Alright. Land. It's good for them. They do not have enough for Urza. Good for us. I think, if I remember, Shelldock should be just about online here. 20 or fewer cards in the library, so not quite there. Oh, now it is. Okay. We can glimpse here. If they have another counter spell, great. If not, they're probably going to make some mana with Gilded Goose or the food token. Opponent's at 17 cards. They're going to make mana here with the Gilded Goose, which means that 2 things, 3 things. So they're going to mill 3. That's going to put them to 14, plus the draw puts them to 13. So our Archive Trap is actually lethal. They shock in here with Steam Vents, so they probably have Cryptic open. They don't cast anything. Okay, Mesmeric Orb mills us 2 here. Darkslick Shores. I think we just slam the Archive Trap at their end step or something here. They're going to have to tap mana at some point. The Orb's really threatening here. 4 mana. This is Cryptic, more than likely. Bouncing the Orb so they don't die and drawing a card. Gives us an opportunity to go ahead and fire off the Archive Trap, casting it, hitting them for exactly 13, and we pick up our Orb, and we pick up this game number 1 here against Sultai Teamer? I guess it's Teamer. It's Teamer Euro. Teamer Euro Urza. All right. Similar to the blue-black list, we're going to go ahead and go after their graveyard again. They don't appear to be searching as much with Ashiok static ability, but Ashiok in general is relatively good against them. We look at the Fray Insanities as well because they're doing the Emery pieces. We're trying to, at this point, since we're on match 4, figure out why Fray Insanity is in the sideboard, or if it's just an extra slot. Take out Fatal Pushes, Inquisitions, Search for Escantas. We're going to look to Mission Briefing, Surgicals, or Extra Baits. We're going to try to Mission Briefing Archive Traps. We have the 1 of Crypt Incursion, which should be enough. We're not bringing Bridge in. We have the Drown the Lock that removes 0. We're going to attack my opponent's graveyard here and see how it goes. This opening hand does a couple things, but not enough for us. The second hand has Surgical, Archive Traps. And I'm up already. Why not? Don't do this. Don't keep a no-lander. All right, we send away the hardest cards to cast for the most part. We want to tackle their hand with Collective Brutality, maybe remove an Emery. We have a mission briefing to repeat one of these archive traps, and we just need them to search. If we can get them to search and surgical away Euro, we'll be in great shape. Steam Vents for our opponents. A Drowning the Lock for us. Yeah. You can leave a comment now. Fluffy, you're insane for keeping a no-lander. You know you need mana for playing Magic. Look, we drew a Field of Ruin. Can't even cast anything just yet. Well, we can cast Surgical. And my opponent has decided that they've sideboarded out perhaps all of their fetch lands. Either way, though, our hand is relatively explosive if we can just get them to fetch. And we do know that they have fetch lands. So we'll see how it goes. Collective Brutality is now online. We have the Surgical online as well. And we can force the search here with the Field of Ruin. So as much as I'm kind of harping on this, we have options here. Archmage Charm fired off here. Draws some cards. Pretty good for our opponent. This could be Euro, but I have a feeling they want to protect Euro. It's an Urza. All right, so we have an Urza, Lord, High Artificer, plus a Construct to beat. So that's 3 damage per turn. Not a ton, but maybe enough. Okay. Glimpse the Unthinkable. We'll go ahead and start using our Collective Brutality. We can go ahead and get rid of the Construct here and take a look at what else our opponent has. And at this point, I think Mission Briefing just doesn't make sense to keep. We're just never casting that card. It's just never happening. We don't have double blue. We don't have much in our graveyard either way. So this slows down the clock. We have a Cryptic, 2 Galvanic Blast, and a Flooded Strand. So they do have the fetch land. We're in great shape if they'll ever cast it. Or not cast it, use it. So we're in good shape. Galvanic Blast, the Flooded Strand. My opponent has 5 mana with the Bobble. So they don't have to crack the Flooded Strand. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bonus Urza here, so they get to make another token. This does give us the full information of what their hand is. Double Galvanic Blast. Construct here, no more artifacts. Blue land, please. Urza comes in here for a point of damage. Why not? Land. Okay, blue land. I can use the Field of Ruin. We can get things going. I have 2 Galvanic Blasts to worry about. We can pull them off of red. I'm sure they have another red source somewhere. Why not? Let's go for it. The Galvanic Blast doesn't do too much. The other thing we could do is this Glimpse, which I guess this is what I'm going to do. Glimpse, maybe try to hit something with a Surgical that's important. Maybe on some random reason they go ahead and Flooded Strand here. I guess setting this up as well, I'm setting up that my Drown the Lock can remove like Urza. So that's good for us. We do hit Euro. We know about the 2 Galvanic Blasts, so at this point we're kind of protecting ourselves from just a bigger threat. There's 2 Veil of Summers at the bottom as well, something to note that maybe it was good that I went ahead and cracked the Surgical at that point. Okay. Polluted Delta is their land, so they have nothing in hand, really. Just 2 Galvanic Blasts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to spin the wheel here with Urza. Gets a Emery. So this feels the graveyard even a little bit more for me. I have a way to kill Emery with the Drown in the Lock. I can kill the Construct. I can kill Urza at this point. We're going to get hit for 3. Going to put us to 14. We're looking fairly well from a no-lander here. Polluted Delta. So this is nice. We can Polluted Delta, go get a land, use 2 mana, Field of Ruin, force them. They don't have red mana open right now. They would have to fetch to use red mana. Red mana is only doing 2 damage right now because of no Metalcraft. We can Drown in the Lock Emery so that they can't get Metalcraft back on. And we can Archive Trap when we make them field, and we can mill them for a good 26. 26 puts them to, what is that? 4 cards left? 4 cards, I'm at 14, and I'm going to remove something here. Seems good. I think I have to remove the Emery in case they have red mana somewhere. Archive Trap. get a real good look here at what they've got left. Archive Trap again. Down to 3 cards. 2 Veils are gone. Some Metallic Rebukes. There's a Blood Moon. We could Visions and try to hit another Archive Trap here. I think it's just an easy Drown the Lock at this point. They can do 4 damage to me. Maybe that's 8. If they do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it would be 12 with the Construct plus the Urza. So if I kill Emery, I'm preventing that potential Metalcraft here. I don't think I want them to have Metalcraft. That would be just ridiculous. So let's go ahead and fetch basic here. Let's go ahead and Drown the Lock the Emery to prevent that kind of scenario. The other thing we could do is get rid of the Construct. Probably has a similar effect, but I think the Emery is more likely to turn on Metalcraft. Not to mention that my opponent has to have a red land here in the last 2 cards. Land drop. So the Galvanic Blasts are probably not even online at this point. So Emery is the only real engine. And if they want to spin the wheel with Urza, by all means. We have the Visions here. We're going to Ancestral Recall with the Visions. We're going to take our top deck land. I need a Crab. I need a Glimpse. I need a Crypt Incursion, I think, is still in the deck. Mission Briefing, I believe, would do it. If I hit a land off the Visions, I couldn't Archive Trap immediately. Unless the land is a field. We're looking pretty good. My opponent's going to take a look at what their last 2 cards are here. Maybe they have an Astrolabe. They can turn on Galvanic Blast. How many Astrolabes do they have? 1, 2, 3. I only see 3 over there. Yeah, only 3. So they could have 1. Not that they want to really draw a card, though. Drawing a card seems like a bad idea here. If they had an Astrolabe here, they'd draw a card. They'd hit me for 4. Then they'd Galvanic Blast me as well, so 8. So if I hit no mill spell, they draw their last card, and then they'd have the last Galvanic Blast plus the Construct and Urza. So removal spell would be good here as well. Counter spell. I basically need a thing in the top 4 cards. What do you got for us, opponent? Long and hard thought here from our opponent. Okay. Combat. Gonna hit for 3. So they didn't pump up the Construct with any artifacts. I guess I'm saying all this and they have 2 Galvanic Blasts in their hand. So we've thought through all the possibilities knowing their entire hand here. And they weren't able to fetch a red land here. So we're in better shape than I realized. Start with the Visions. Let's go ahead and find some sort of mill spell. I'm glad it wasn't an Astrolabe ever in their hand. Shell Dock here. We're going to go ahead and put something underneath. All of these cards win. Pretty much all of these cards will win this game at this point. We'll just put a Crab down. We have the Field of the Ruin that we can use. We have the Bounce Palace as well. At this point, it doesn't matter. I guess the Crab could be picked off by a Galvanic Blast, but they never got the red mana anyway, so the Crab seems fairly decent anyway. And we're able to just play the Crab out and then put a land into play. Should be good. Yeah. We got it. Taking down this not Salty Jund version. An Archive Trap coming off the top. We weren't able to Ancestral into a win, but we were definitely just a turn away there. All right. 4-0 going into match number 5 here. Playing Blue-Black Mill in Modern. Trying to take this one down. Trying to get that 5-0. Let's do it. Let's go. I still don't know about this Fray Insanity. I can see where it could be beneficial. I think I've misplayed it a few times here. Maybe I just haven't really hit the matchups where I really need it. Again, with the Set Adrift, I think that's more for the control matchup as well. So, a couple nuances that we're probably playing a little bit poorly. But hey, we play them poorly, so you can play them better at your F&M. Let's find this last opponent. Ooh. Taking a while to find this last opponent here. While we wait, as a reminder, please consider that subscription and let us know how you like this post commentary. I like commentary during the game. This is kind of a cool relook at it. I know a little bit about what happens in each matchup, and I can direct ourselves to a little bit of a better line here and there. Fifth opponent found here. Let's play some Final Magic here. Going for that 5-0 blue-black mill in Modern. Opening hand looks fantastic. Got a crab. Got a Drown the Lock for removal or counter. Have a Collective Brutality. And we've got these archive traps that we've been enjoying this whole league. I don't see any reason not to keep this. If they aren't a fetch land, and as long as they're not mono some color, we have the Field of Ruin as well to target and turn on our archive trap. Having that with the Hedron Crab, gonna make Drown the Log excellent. I don't think it can get better, really. Top deck of Surgical? I don't know. We need a non-mono color deck. We need them not to maybe remove Crab too fast. All right, let's find out what my opponent's is. Opponent's got the play. What do you got for us, opponent? Stomping Ground. Okay. Could be Panza. Could be Titan Shift. I think that's mainly let's playing the Stomping Ground. No fetch. Could see a Lightning Bolt as well. Hedron Crab as a starter. Our opponent's now got an idea of what we're doing. Okay. Basic Mountain. Bolts. Okay. Still could be Titan Shift. Could be that red-green monsters or Panza here. Let's go ahead and we can probably just wait here on the Drown the Lock. Maybe snag something at 1, like an Arbor Elf or something else. Nothing. Okay. Nothing from our opponent. We'll go ahead and put the Field of Ruin into play, and we're going to get this Archive Trap going. Again, we could counter something and wait on this as well. Maybe they have a Blood Moon, for example, Magus of the Moon. I don't know. The deck typically skips from 1 to 3. At this point, I've ruled out Titan Shift. My opponent's just not doing anything that ramps them, so we've got some sort of red-green monsters, Panza. It's not aggro. They haven't bolted or played creatures here. So let's take a look. Archive Trap should tell us what we've got. All right, we've got a God of Destiny, Seasoned Pyromancer, Scavenging News, a lot of lands, and a Chandra, plus a Utopia Sprawl. Crypt Incursion's an excellent one here. Red-green kind of monsters, plenty of things to eat with that. We can go ahead and Collective Brutality, take a look at the opponent's hand, and maybe even get to use Surgical wisely here. Something I wouldn't mind doing. All right, Bloodbraid, God of Destiny, Bone Crusher Giant, Double Magus, Seasoned Pyromancer. We grab a screenshot, and then we remember Collective Brutality actually shows us the cards. So we'll do that. Drown the Lock, the Bone Crusher Giant looks good. I can go ahead and get rid of the God of Destiny. That one's always been a problem for me, so I don't think I would mind that. Magus doesn't matter here, and Bloodbraid Elf is a little ways away, so let's go ahead and get rid of this God of Destiny. Pay a little bit of life, too, to leave up Drown the Lock. Removes one thing from the graveyard for a Crypt Incursion, but it gets rid of the God of Destiny out of my opponent's hand. We see a Questing Beast, Scavenging News, a couple more Maguses. They're playing a lot of Maguses main, a bunch of Bloodbraids, a couple Forests here as well. I'm kind of counting how many lands they have. They have the Utopia Sprawls and the Arbor Elves as well, but if I'm able to counter it, one of these Utopia Sprawls or Arbor Elves and my opponent doesn't have enough lands, they won't ever cast Bone Crusher. They won't cast Seasoned Pyromancer. They won't cast Magus. So these are options. Utopia Sprawl from our opponent. And thinking that line, this could easily be countered because the last thing I want them to do is land and then Bloodbraid Elf here. So countering this actually keeps them back on land, usually one more turn. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then this Crypt Incursion should gain me quite a bit of life, especially after a glimpse of the unthinkable here. Getting to mill them more, maybe hitting more lands here, and then just having the Crypt Incursion just is looking really good. I can't imagine they're going to be able to play too much here. Opponent missed their lands. They missed the options to get an Arbor for Utopia Sprawl. We get a Visions. We have a Crab here. We're going to get to Crab. I would shock in. I'd Glimpse here. Mill them, mill them, mill them. And then this Crypt Incursion is just going to be so massive that it won't matter what they play here. There's just no way they're coming back from this. Glimpse them away. Graveyard's full of all kinds of creatures here. Do your worst, opponent. I think they could play... They could probably play Bone Crusher Giant here, Seasoned Pyromancer there. They could play Bloodbraid Elf right after, and they probably still couldn't kill us. If they played like 3 Glorybringers here, I don't think they'd beat us either. They offer a Magus, which I think is the weakest out of all of this. We have a Drown the Lock. We can just pick off the Magus and then Crypt Incursion them. Really no issues here. And in fact, picking this off or picking off a Bloodbraid Elf or any of these things, it just means more things for us in the graveyard. We get this Bone Crusher Giant. They're going to hit us for 2. We'll just Crypt Incursion. We'll go up to 61 here. We hit a Surgical. I just ate all the cards, unfortunately. We could Surgical out. I don't really know. I'm counting up. They've got 4 Utopias already. I ate all the Arbor Elves. I see 3 Lightning Bolts already. Actually 4. There's 4. 3 at the bottom, 1 at the top. I just hit a Windswept Teeth here as a way that they can't, like, get more lands at this point. I see 3 Windswept Teeths, and I'm just kind of, like, picking at something. I guess I could go after the Stomping Ground. Really just trying to hit basically 1 to 2 more cards just to mill them out a little bit more. All right, things are looking good. We'll bring in Crypt Incursions, Bridges. We can bring in Damnations. We probably can bring in Bantus. We can probably leave the Surgicals in if we'd like to here. I could see Searcher's Kanta coming out. I can see Mission Briefing coming out. Maybe like a Surgical and an Inquisition here. My opponent is likely to fetch because they want to fetch that basic forest, so the Archive Traps could be really good. I think if we mill any quantity of cards into the bin, that 1 Crypt Incursion just locks us up. So fingers crossed we can do that. Hand looks fantastic. We have the Crab followed by a Polluted Delta to mill them a bunch, plus the Mesmeric Orb. My opponent's fetching because they need that basic forest, and we're going to get to Archive Trap them. We have an Arbor Elf here, which is probably something I could pick off if I happen to have a Fatal Push. We're in great shape, hitting Bone Crushers, hitting Glory Bringers, all the good stuff. Nuance here, we do fetch here, and now I'm kind of like stuck into maybe having to get just a Watery Grave. We should have played the Crab off the island, so this is a bit of a misstep from us. They might even have Magus, or they might have a Blood Moon, which would shut off our black here, which would not be ideal. I get to play an Orb behind it, which isn't terrible. Oh, Scavenging News. Okay, and then they get to play something else here or eat something. They play an extra Arbor Elf. So they've got lots of ramp here. We have our Crab, not getting to do as much milling here. We have this random Scoos. It's a problem. That being said, we get to untap with both of our colors. We have 3 Drown the Locks. I don't care about what they've got here. They can ramp out as much as they want. We're just going to counter whatever they play. So Bloodbraid Elf here. We're going to let this roll. And then they get a Relic. So this is frustrating for us because the Relic gets rid of our graveyard. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the Bloodbraid Elf here. Them untapping and then cracking the Relic, it makes our Drown the Locks not as good. We could always chump block with Hedron Crab if we need to, but we're going to have this Orb to return on our Drown the Locks. So we're in okay shape. We're in okay shape. We get to mill them as well with this land off the top. Drown the Locks are back online. No problems. Seeing a Boil. It's a good card. Chandra and Bloodbraid Elf. We'll go ahead and play the orb here because they do have to kill us. Making them untap all 6 of these. Putting 6 into the bin here for us is really nice. I like that. Gonna fuel some stuff here. Nothing too crazy. It's good to see that they don't get that pillage. Arbor Elf untapping. And by untapping, they're milling a little bit more here as well. Untaps again. Mesmeric Orb trigger. Glorybringer. Glorybringer comes in here for 4 and 2 with the Scavenging News. So 6 removes Crab. 19 cards to go. We have a Drown the Lock to remove something here. They are going to mill 2, 4, 6, 7. So they're going to have, what is that? 12 cards remaining. So we got to somehow get through 12. We cycle Visions here just to see what else we can draw. Bantus looks really nice here. Fatal Push looks really nice. So we can actually have them untap here. Fatal Push, Scavenging News, plan to Drown the Lock, Glorybringer, or counter something. And then we can follow that with a Bantus or another Drown in the Lock. So we're going to stop at draw step here. Make them untap everything so it's a mill for 7. And then we can pick off 1 or 2 things that we really need that could kill us. Which is really good for us. Getting a lot of their graveyard here. So Fatal Push on the draw step. We'll go ahead and go after Scavenging News because it's the biggest thing here. We can worry about the Glorybringer later, and if they play another Glorybringer, we can counter that. So we're looking pretty good here. Looking pretty good. 12 cards to go. Might have this. Might have the 5-0. Might have it. Kill Scavenging News. Land drop. They're now aware of this orb. We can protect it from a pillage with the Drown the Lock. Opponent swings for 2, going to put us to 17. Or not 17, 7, sorry. I think this is a perfect Drown the Lock, the Glorybringer here. It's a lot of damage that doesn't now hurt us. Boils us. Nice thing about this is we get to have them untap for 2, 4, 6. Draw an Archive Trap. They mill 6 here. We need it to not be like Glorybringer, but even Glorybringer wouldn't be good for them right now because we're at 7. So we attack for 2. Goes to 5. I see 1, 2, 3 lightning bolts, so they potentially have a lightning bolt. I don't recall if it's been exiled. We top deck a land, and by top decking a land here, we have the Drown the Lock. We should be good here. They're going to tap 2. There goes the other lightning bolt. They get to attack for 2. If they have another lightning bolt randomly in their hand somewhere, they've got us. If they've got a way to do 3 damage somewhere, they've got us. But we have the Drown the Lock covering all of that. Should be good. Seasoned Pyromancer that does not kill us will allow that to resolve. That is fine to resolve. By all means. They're going to draw their last 2 cards here. Last 2 cards. Gets rid of a Wooded Foothills and an Arbor Elf. And we get it. There you go. Little 5-0 here. I'm playing Blue-Black Mill. There it is. 5-0. Nice. Pretty cool list. It was one of the recent 5-0s. We thought we'd go ahead and take it for a spin here. Grabbing that screenshot for some of those folks over there in the Mill Discord. Taking a look at the list. There you go. Blue-Black Mill here in Modern. Taking it down 5-0. There you go. There you go. Nice list. There you have it. By request, a little bit of the analytics and the viewpoint, a little bit slower. We had knowledge of what all was going to happen, so it was a bit of a post commentary, but also knowing where the track of thoughts was going. But it was kind of good because in the post commentary we did see a few extra things that we could have done differently for sure. If you enjoyed this alongside the Blitz League, keeping in mind that both of them are the same set of matches, definitely let me know in the comments. As always, have a happy weekend and I hope to see you live on the stream. Subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next matches. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.